There is some talk online about 2 AEW stars leaving the company for WWE when their contracts expire. This is the Ango Show. We're going to talk about that plus so much more. Yes. Welcome back to TAS. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we have a really big giveaway at 100,000 subscribers, and I'm sure you're interested in winning I'm sure you're interested in a chance to win this incredible giveaway. We're going to give away a World Championship belt replica from WWE Shop. There's going to be other prizes. We're going to do a huge live stream once we hit 100,000 subscribers, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you helped us out. But ladies and gentlemen, let's just jump right into it. Naomi is back in the WWE, and obviously there's a lot of ways that they could go about Naomi's return. But today, Fightful Select had reported some plans for Naomi, and it appears that Naomi will be joining the SmackDown roster. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Mainly because WWE has done a lot of great things with the women's division on SmackDown. There's more notable names on SmackDown, more potential feuds on SmackDown. But in addition to that, there's a lot of different ways that they can handle Naomi's character moving forward. Now, one thing that we need to talk about is Bayley, because Bayley won the Royal Rumble. And I think it's safe to say that Bayley is going to challenge Io Sky, which is a great storyline because for all of these months, we've been seeing Damage Control. They've kind of been mean to Bayley, and it's not directly to her face, but if you pay attention to the little details, those elements that have been added to the storyline make for a really great Bayley babyface run. But of course, Damage Control being the heel group, they're going to attack Bayley. Bayley's going to need friends who can assist Bayley, and I think Naomi would be a really good asset for Bayley. What I also find interesting here regarding Naomi is the idea that perhaps Naomi could stay away from the women's division for a moment and join the Bloodline, which obviously makes a lot of sense for her to be a heel character alongside Jimmy Uso. And I would never be against that. But that's the thing. I really don't know the route that they want to go, right? She is an incredible babyface. Look at the reaction that she got from the Royal Rumble. A lot of people love Naomi. I think it's inevitable that Naomi should one day be a heel in the WWE. But also what I really love about Naomi being back in the WWE presents the opportunity of Bayley's going to need other challengers if she successfully defeats Io Sky. And if she successfully defeats Io Sky, I imagine some really incredible stuff between Naomi being a heel and Bayley being a babyface. Obviously, that's going to be post Damage Control Bayley feud, but I like the idea of Bayley going up against a heel Naomi. It's going to be a fantastic match. See, that's the thing. Like, Naomi's a great character, and she's got great character work, but she's also a great wrestler. So there's a lot of different routes there. I like the fact that she's going to be moving to SmackDown. I also like the fact of her getting involved in Damage Control business. I also like the other idea of her being involved in the Bloodline stuff. And you never know. You know, the women's tag team division could be a very interesting point it could be in a very interesting time for the women's tag division because, they need more legit tag teams. They need more credible opponents in there. So who could tag team with Naomi? That's a great question to ask. What do you guys think? I want to turn our attention to Andrade, El Idolo. Andrade Cien Almas. You remember him, guys? Yeah, he's back in the WWE. He showed up at the Royal Rumble. I personally love his theme music. I personally loved the entrance gear. I liked when he was doing it in NXT. I liked when he was doing it in AEW. I liked that he did it at the Royal Rumble. Now, according to Fightful Select, Andrade surprisingly is expected to be on Raw, which is interesting because on SmackDown, they've been building something very special, right? You have Dragon Lee, you have Carlito, you have Legado del Fantasma, you have the LWO. I thought maybe WWE would go the route of having Andrade be a babyface on SmackDown. And, based on the Royal Rumble, when we saw Andrade and Santos Escobar have a little bit of a moment where they didn't necessarily align, I felt like that was WWE planting a seed of what is to come. Now, if Fightful Select's report is true about Andrade being expected on Raw, I think that was done on purpose. I think that was done because WWE has plans for Andrade to eventually circle back and have a major feud with some of those guys on SmackDown. But for now, it makes sense for Andrade to be on Raw, and there's two reasons why. Normally, I would say it doesn't make sense because Charlotte Flair is on SmackDown. With that being said, Charlotte Flair is injured and it's expected to be out. She's expected to be out for about 9 months, 10 months, maybe even a full year. Andrade could be on Raw, doesn't necessarily have to be on SmackDown because Charlotte won't necessarily be on TV probably not expected to travel to SmackDown in this situation. So Andrade could be on Raw, picking up some big matches, some big wins. And then eventually, if Charlotte Flair stays on SmackDown, Andrade could always be traded to SmackDown. Andrade could always get drafted to SmackDown. There's a lot of things that they can do. But when it comes to Raw and Andrade being on Raw, I think it's really important that Andrade is put into some very big feuds. And I want to see Andrade versus Gunther. I do. That is a match I would love to see. Now, what's interesting is WWE and the Intercontinental Championship, because I feel like they're going to need a big match for WrestleMania, for Gunther, for the Intercontinental Championship. And I always circle back to the Chad Gable thing. But I think, if you really, really want to do some incredible stuff, man, I think based under Andrade's booking of Triple H and NXT, I feel like Andrade could be a really good Intercontinental Champion with Gunther dropping it to him. I also like the idea of Andrade having great matches with Chad Gable and some of these other guys and Ludwig Kaiser. Like, there's a lot of things that they can do on Raw, but I would like to see him in the title picture. I want WWE to present Andrade as part of this crop of talent that's part of the upper mid card. And of course, I would never be against the idea of Andrade becoming a world heavyweight champion. There's obviously a plethora of other guys who should become world heavyweight champion first, but you don't want Andrade to be mixed or lost in the shuffle. You want him to be part of that mix. So very interesting stuff. Andrade on Raw, Naomi on SmackDown. I like it. I like it. I like it. Guys, Dave Meltzer talking about Malachi Black and Buddy Murphy. And I thought this was absolutely insane. I cannot even believe that this is something that's being talked about here, because it literally seems like it's the furthest from the truth. Meltzer says, of the guys I know, Daniel Garcia will do a job in a match like that. And I know FTR will do a job because, Dax Harwood does a million jobs when the circumstances are right. And Cash Wheeler is not adverse to it. So, and Malachi Black never does jobs. And when this was going on and I'm watching this, one of the things I was thinking was watching this is like, the freaking House of Black guys never do jobs. And here's the other thing. I was thinking, like, what if they win this match and they're just going to go like, two of those three guys are going to the WWE. I mean, they're going. As soon as they go, they're gone. Even though they were treated like shit in the WWE and they never do jobs here, and they're still going back to the WWE. And my thought is kind of like, why do you keep putting them over when you know they are leaving? And obviously, Dave Meltzer speculating on Buddy Murphy and Malachi Black leaving AEW when their contracts are expired. I don't for 1 second believe anything that Dave Meltzer says regarding House of Black, because House of Black has openly responded to this type of stuff. Buddy Murphy literally said in response, for a reporter, he doesn't know much or do any research. And Buddy Murphy actually fact-checked Dave Meltzer, because he posted his record in 2024. Buddy Matthews is 1-3 overall, and he's had 13 losses in his AEW career with only 25 wins. And in 2024, he hasn't won a singles match, he hasn't won a tag team match, and he only won one trios match while losing the other. At the end of the day, Malachi Black has denied these reports and stuff several times when fans have said that he's not willing to put people over. I don't know what this AEW fan base does, but they're constantly turning on their own talent that, honestly, I just think it's ridiculous. House of Black is incredible if they leave AEW for WWE. And I've said this before, I feel like House of Black has been severely underbooked in AEW. The fact that Malachi Black doesn't have singles matches in AEW is absolutely preposterous. The fact that Malachi Black is not competing for the international championship is absolutely erroneous. There is just so much bullshit that I can say about the booking of Malachi Black and House of Black in general. Really unfortunate. If they're not happy in AEW, and I can't speak for them because they haven't said this themselves, but if they're not happy in AEW, Tony Khan should just let them go to WWE. And if they're happy in AEW and they want to stay in AEW, Tony Khan should actually book them appropriately. And if that bothers you, if that makes you think I'm an AEW hater, that's cool. But I 100% stand on business. Malachi Black, Buddy Murphy deserve a lot better. Brody King deserves a lot better. The best booked talent in House of Black has actually been Julia Hart, which I find impressive, and I'm very happy about that. But the other three deserve way much more. And if they're not going to get it in AEW, I know Triple H will. And if Triple H doesn't put the world title on them, I don't expect that. I would expect them on weekly TV with big matchups. It's completely different. But hey, it is what it is.